Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's see. What do we have going on here in these tea leaves? And so the card we have tonight is the Two of Discs. And this is a card that is related to balance, momentum, flexibility, change. That's the big one, change. And kind of juggling different things in your life, right? Being pretty good at that. And so, let's see, what do we have? Looks like we have a large J right here. And I am seeing not one, but two of the eye. Okay, and so when we see the eye, especially repeated, there seems to be somebody who is maybe kind of envious, kind of throwing hacks at you, or maybe the evil eye, as it is called. But this could be somebody who just, I hate to say anybody would act lowly, okay, but I see a person who's kind of like crawling around, kind of acting like, and this one looks like a donkey, okay? So when it comes to getting into these really base places, and we all, listen, we're all envious, we all get jealous to some degree. Some people, though, do not know how to kind of manage these really, these are early sensations that are developed in childhood, infancy, and there's a lot of reasons why, but a lot of it has to do with survival, and this arises within the family dynamic, okay? But some people, either due to the way that they were raised, or just kind of, the way that their personality emerges, or whatever, they go into their adulthood, throughout their lives, unable to control that like burning jealousy, that burning envy that they have for other people. And as we all know, somebody who is a jealous person, an envious person, can act pretty unstable, can be very reactionary, can be malicious in a lot of different ways, right? So I think that there's somebody in your life who really, and I know we've been talking about how well you've been doing, within your career, within, your personal life, your spiritual life. You kind of are in just a really good place. And now it seems to be really close to you, that you are noticing that there's somebody who is just having a really difficult time with how well you're doing. They are, I imagine, saying rude things, gossiping. With the donkey, I don't think it's necessarily like super vindictive, but I think that they are kind of somebody who is a SH talker a little bit, and probably within the family or friends group. somebody that you do know personally, but I don't know that you are very close to them, probably because of the type of person they are. I feel like I want to kind of turn to this way. We have, it looks like a person standing and kind of raising their finger up, like they're wagging their finger, and there's a person below. And I feel like at times this dynamic of this person kind of, you know, maybe having backhanded comments. Maybe they're like always kind of in competition, belittling the things that you're doing, telling you, well, you're doing that, but you should be doing this, and, you know, these kinds of things. It almost feels like you're being scolded by them, but it seems like it's very venomous, okay? And I think at times it makes you so uncomfortable that you almost feel kind of like unsafe in that situation, in those conversations. It really just leaves a kind of a tinge of something not being right, like somebody who is unhinged, right? And I think that that's not abnormal. You know, of course we want people to be able to speak their minds, to be who they are, you know, to kind of freely express themselves, but at times we can come in contact with people who feel too familiar, or they just do not have like a filter, you know, and they can say things that, I mean, it really just, it feels like they're, they don't have control of themselves on the level that you would hope most people do, right? And that can make you kind of, maybe not that they're going to, you know, attack you or something like this, but it makes you feel just not at ease, just kind of on high alert, right? I mean, for me, it does. When I'm around somebody like that, who, you know, thinks that they can talk to others some type of way, that makes me feel like this person doesn't really, you know, they don't respect other people. They don't respect themselves. They speak ill of people. They speak ill to people. And there's something toxic in that. There's something unhealthy in that. And listen, there are situations we get heated. We argue. You know, we might say something that we shouldn't, or, you know, we go too far, too judgmental, but then you apologize, right? You try to fix it. You do better next time. But then there are people who just, they think that that's okay. You know, it's okay for them to behave that way. And, you know, that can be really upsetting, you know. So, I think that, and I'm seeing, I'm seeing up here, it looks like a horse's head next, and somebody's standing next to the horse, kind of holding the rein of the horse, and here's the horse's tail. And I feel like this sensation of just getting on your horse and heading on out, right? And I think that really, these kinds of situations, all you can really do is cut off contact and really do not allow people like this to have access to you, okay? In real life, online, social media, whatever. You just can't feed into this kind of behavior. I don't think that there needs to be some big blowout. That's what I think, you know, oftentimes they're looking for. They want negative attention. And feeding into that, you know, only kind of snowballs. So I think that when somebody starts behaving this way, and they're politicking in the family and trying to sway people, or, you know, getting kind of this, you know, other people to think it's okay to behave this way as well, you just cut it off. You don't allow it to continue. And you do that by just not engaging, taking yourself out of the equation. And, unfortunately, they will find another victim, or, they move on. Oftentimes, I don't think people learn. It takes a lot of self-awareness and motivation to want to change those kinds of behaviors. Okay, so hopefully, they'll get the hint. They'll start working on doing something else with their time. But it seems like this is kind of just what the dynamic might be. I will also mention, because we have the eye, something else you can do is creating a talisman or some kind of shrine or altar, if you are, agreeable to those kinds of things, if you do that kind of magical work, for protection. There is and I think it's called the Nazar. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but we all know what it is. It's the blue circle with the kind of eye in it, with the white circle, blue and white circle, and it looks like an eye. And that is the talisman to ward off the evil eye. So you can maybe put those all over your house or wear one or something, or create your own talisman, or I think that when these kinds of things happen, cleansing, working on cleaning out parts of your home, your workspace, your really just everywhere in your life, your relationships that need tidying, need work. I think, listen, this is my little philosophy on things. When things go poorly in one relationship in your life and there's no fixing it at that moment, it's a good time to go into your other relationships and do some tidying. Make sure that you are checking in, making amends for things, spending time together, balancing out that thing, that whatever it was that went wrong, balancing it out with strengthening your other relationships. I also think that when we feel emotionally stressed, it's a good time to declutter, a good time to clean the house, dust, get all of that stagnant energy out of there. Kind of push out those blockages. If you are in a place where it's cool enough to open the windows, or warm enough, I know it's the southern hemisphere, it's winter, maybe, you during the day you can open your windows and let some fresh air come through your house. Get rid of any kind of stagnant air that's in there, because the energies get locked up in it. And when you go into a home that's been shut up for days and days and days, and it just has that kind of stale feeling. My husband probably gets annoyed with me. I always have like ceiling fans going, even when it's winter. The moment that it is warm enough or cool enough that I can open a window, they are all open. I like fresh air in my house. I do not like that stagnant feeling at all. So, that really helps change how you feel. I mean, just really, it does. A nice burst of, new air. Even if you're in the city, I know, I've lived in the city too. I know it can be stinky. Well, listen, I live out in the country. It's stinky here sometimes. There are farms and stuff around. But we do what we must, right? We keep checking the air until it doesn't smell, so we can bring in some fresh air, right? And also tidying the spiritual the spiritual things that you have, if you have a place that you pray or meditate, cleaning those places up, you know, doing gratitude kind of meditations, contemplations, you know, expelling some of the negative thinking and asking for appeals and that kind of thing. Okay, so we also have two beautiful things here. We have a person holding a chalice, or kind of the Holy Grail there. And then we have a person who is holding a bird. Okay, so we have two beautiful, aligned, balanced, kind of that deep imagination, the sacred mind alive through that bird. There is peace. This is kind of in a seated position. This one's more in a standing position, but that beautiful cup is the vessel of the divine, right? Those divine creative waters. So I really feel like this is something that is going on in your mundane life with somebody who just doesn't know how to act right. You will deal with it accordingly. And back to all of the work you've been doing, and really spending time in those spiritual sectors. I mean, you really are on fire with that. I also see a person holding a candle. It almost looks like their head is also almost like a candle flame. So I think that there's just a deep illumination. I think that, you know, not only is this situation kind of just puts you off a bit, but it also makes you very empathetic for this person, and trying to think, you know, I know that they maybe have had some problems. They maybe haven't had the best life. They are venomous, so you have to stay away. There are boundaries that need to be set, but you can also be empathetic for whatever has happened that somebody has to behave that way. I mean, that is a coping mechanism. And it's, you know, it has to be painful to be in that frame of mind, you know, all the time. It would be hard to live in that mind, for sure. Okay, we also have, it looks like a person who is standing, or it looks like a boat, really. And it almost looks like they're waving. So I feel like there's really the sense of movement and journey going on. I feel like this is like going down the river in your interior world. You are not even bothered about what's going on out there. And then this is the one here I've been looking at. And this is a really beautiful, it looks like a cow, and then there is a butterfly kind of coming up to sit on its tail. I really think that this is such a sacred image. Again, that beautiful, serene kind of, you know, cow standing, just kind of contemplating. There's the metamorphosis with the tail, or the butterfly coming to the tail. Just this real sense of being in a very zen place. Really letting these things that are happening pass by you, not letting them stress you too much, noticing how they make you feel, taking yourself away from that and letting it go. I mean, that's the ultimate, right? That's like a Zen master right there. So I think that you're just doing so much good work. Okay. Now I see a bird, a chicken, maybe a hen, and then I see kind of a little bit of a sad face. So to me, these two together, the hen, and I hate this stereotype of poor little chickens, but the kind of clucking and gossiping, you're not allowing that energy, and they're not very happy about that. They're kind of bummed out that you just are not having it. You're not giving them anything to talk about. You are not part of it. You're not reacting to it. You're just going about your business. And I mean, ultimately, that's the best way to shut it down, isn't it? So I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I am always so honored to be able to bring you these messages. If you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. We are growing the channel. I want you to be part of the community here. We are on a schedule where we're on a schedule where I am doing every sign once a week. I'm reading for every sign. My little spiel got mixed up here, so I'm just but yeah, so I read for every sign, and it's actually more than once a week, just because there are some days I'm reading, 3 or 4 signs. But anyways, you can watch all of your placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, Venus. I know people do cross-watching a lot. If you don't know what that is, it's when you watch readings for your loved ones, your significant other, your children, just to kind of see what's going on with them. So I encourage that as well. If you want to leave a comment, I read every single one of them. It takes me, sometimes it takes me like 3 minutes, and I'm sure you're like, oh gosh, she's like hovering over her comments here. But then sometimes it takes me a day or so. It just depends on what we have going on. As many of you know, I have a toddler, and my husband, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot, also has a channel where he does a lot of readings, and we have other things, other responsibilities aside from the YouTube channels going on too. So it just is kind of a matter of when I can get a few minutes to really, I want to read them and let them sink in and have some, thoughtful responses, because I really appreciate the time that you spend watching and then commenting. And I want to be able to connect with people here, and I feel like that's happening. And so yeah, and it's now Sunday night and while I'm recording this, and right after this I'm going to bed, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna tell you thank you. I hope we all have a wonderful week ahead, and yeah, don't let that evil eye get you. Go out there and get one of those little charms. I have a few of them. I even got one for my daughter. She thinks they're really pretty. I like that blue color too. So anyways, thank you, and we will talk again soon.